It's not just about money. It's about the way you think, the habits you form, and the way you see the world. You see, success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. And the mindset of a millionaire is not reserved for the wealthy. It's a way of life that anyone can cultivate. It's about expanding your vision, breaking through mental barriers, and developing disciplines that lead to extraordinary results. But where does it begin? It begins with understanding that your mind is the most powerful tool you have. What you feed it, what you focus on, and how you train it will determine your level of success. As a man thinketh, so is he. It's ancient wisdom, but it's as true today as it ever was. Your thoughts shape your reality. The good news is that your mindset isn't fixed. It can be molded, sharpened, and refined. You're not stuck with the thinking you have today. If you want to develop a millionaire mindset, you must begin by taking responsibility for your own mind. Not your neighbor's mind, not your boss's mind, your own. Too many people spend their days blaming others or circumstances, but I'm telling you, blame is the language of failure. Responsibility is the language of success. Once you take responsibility, you put yourself in the driver's seat of your life. You get to choose what thoughts you allow, what influences you accept, and what direction you move in. Now, I want to walk you through 3 powerful methods that, if applied consistently, can help you develop this mindset. Each method is simple in concept, but demands discipline and persistence to implement. Remember, it's not just what you learn here today, it's what you do with it. Knowledge without action is just potential sitting dormant. But when you take that knowledge and apply it, that's when transformation happens. We're going to move through this rather quickly now, so pay attention. Here's the first method. The first method is reprogramming your beliefs about money and success. This is foundational because your beliefs act as the filter through which you see the world. If your beliefs about money are limited, negative, or rooted in fear, they will sabotage your efforts no matter how hard you work. So, to develop a millionaire mindset, you must identify and rewrite the stories you've been telling yourself about wealth. Think about this for a moment. What did you hear about money growing up? Maybe it was that money doesn't grow on trees or those rich people are greedy. We can't afford that. These messages, often repeated and reinforced by well-meaning parents, teachers, or society, become deeply ingrained in your subconscious. And once they're there, they operate like a program in the background, influencing your decisions, behaviors, and outcomes. If you believe even subconsciously that money is evil or that it's only for a select few, you'll unconsciously repel it. You'll find yourself sabotaging opportunities, making poor financial decisions, or simply settling for less than you're capable of achieving. The first step to reprogramming is awareness. You must bring those limiting beliefs to the surface. Ask yourself, what do I believe about money? What do I believe about success? Where did those beliefs come from? Write them down. Don't judge them. Just observe. Once you've identified them, the next step is to challenge them. Is it true that rich people are greedy? Of course not. There are greedy rich people, but there are also generous, kind, and philanthropic rich people. Is it true that money is hard to come by? Not necessarily. Money flows where value is created. If you focus on creating value for others, money has a way of finding you. And once you've challenged those limiting beliefs, you have to replace them with empowering ones. This is where affirmations and visualization come in. Start telling yourself a new story about money and success. You got to tell yourself that you're capable of creating wealth. You got to tell yourself that money is a tool you use to create a better life for yourself and others. Repetition is key here. The more you repeat these empowering beliefs, the more they will sink into your subconscious. But it's not just about saying the words, it's about feeling them, visualizing them, and acting as if they're already true. Visualization is a powerful tool. Picture yourself living the life you desire. Imagine the kind of work you're doing, the people you're surrounded by, and the contributions you're making. Make it vivid. Why? Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you visualize consistently, you begin to rewire your brain to align with the reality you're creating in your mind. And as your internal world changes, your external world begins to follow. But reprogramming your beliefs isn't just about mental exercises. It also requires action. You see, beliefs are reinforced by experience. If you believe you're capable of earning more, take action to prove it to yourself. Every time you take action and see results, your belief in what's possible grows stronger. It's a positive feedback loop. The more you believe, the more you achieve. The more you achieve, the more you believe. Here's a critical point. Surrounding yourself with the right influences is essential. If you're constantly around people who complain about money, criticize the wealthy, or have a scarcity mindset, those attitudes will rub off on you. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who are ambitious, optimistic, and financially savvy, their beliefs and attitudes will start to influence you in a positive way. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life, but it does mean you need to be intentional about the voices you allow to shape your thinking. Books, seminars, and mentors can also serve as powerful influences. Reading biographies of successful people can give you insight into their mindset and habits. When you see what's possible for others, it expands your vision of what's possible for yourself. If you want to be successful, study success. Because success leaves clues. Find those clues and use them to your advantage. And of course, being grateful plays a key role in reprogramming your beliefs. Why? Because being grateful shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It creates a sense of abundance, and when you feel abundant, you attract more abundance. Start each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big, just something you genuinely appreciate. Over time, this simple practice will shift your mindset and open you up to greater possibilities. So, reprogramming your beliefs about money and success is the foundation for developing a millionaire mindset. It's about becoming aware of the stories you've been telling yourself, challenging those stories, replacing them with empowering beliefs, and taking action to reinforce those new beliefs. It's about surrounding yourself with the right influences and cultivating an attitude of gratitude. So that's the first method to developing a millionaire mindset. You have to reprogram your beliefs about money and success. The second method is mastering the art of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment, between desire and reality. Without it, even the best intentions fall apart. Developing a millionaire mindset requires consistent action, and discipline is the tool that ensures you stay on track. no matter the distractions or challenges that come your way. What is discipline, really? It's doing what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's the key. Feelings are fickle. They come and go like the wind. If you only act when you feel motivated, your results will be inconsistent at best. But discipline creates results because it's rooted in commitment, not emotion. Tell me, how disciplined are you in your daily life? Do you have habits that align with your goals, or are you letting life pull you in every direction? You see, a millionaire mindset isn't built in a day. It's built daily. It's the small, consistent actions you take, compounded over time, that create massive results. As one of my favorite principles states, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Start with your daily routine. Your day is your life in miniature, and how you spend it matters. Do you wake up with a purpose, or do you hit the snooze button and start the day on someone else's terms? Millionaires don't leave their mornings to chance. They plan their day the night before, so they wake up knowing exactly what they need to accomplish. It might sound simple, but planning your day is an act of discipline that sets the tone for everything else. Another critical area of discipline is how you use your time. Time is the one resource you can't get back. Every minute wasted is a minute you could have invested in your future. Ask yourself, is this activity moving me closer to my goals, or is it just filling time? Successful people are incredibly intentional with their time. They focus on high-value activities, the things that produce results. On the flip side, they avoid distractions like excessive television, gossip, or mindless scrolling through distractions. But discipline isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you don't do. It's about saying no to the things that don't serve you. This can be tough because the world is full of opportunities to get sidetracked. But here's the thing. Every yes is a no to something else. If you say yes to every social invitation, every low priority task, or every shiny new idea, you're saying no to your long-term goals. Discipline is about having the courage to say no to what's easy, so you can say yes to what's meaningful. Physical discipline is another pillar of the millionaire mindset. Your body is your greatest asset, and how you treat it affects everything else in your life. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, and adequate sleep aren't just good for your health, they're good for your mind. When your body is strong and energized, your mind is sharper, your mood is better, and your ability to handle stress improves. Neglecting your physical health, on the other hand, will drain your energy and limit your potential. Financial discipline is just as important. It's not enough to earn more money. You must also learn how to manage it wisely. Millionaires understand the importance of budgeting, saving, and investing. They don't spend recklessly or live beyond their means. Instead, they make their money work for them. One simple habit that can transform your financial discipline is paying yourself first. Before you spend a dime, set aside a portion of your income for savings and investments. This practice not only builds wealth over time, but also reinforces the mindset that your future is a priority. Discipline also extends to your emotional life. How do you react when things don't go your way? Do you let setbacks derail you, or do you stay focused and push through? Emotional discipline is about controlling your reactions, staying calm under pressure, and maintaining a positive attitude, even in challenging situations. It's about choosing your response instead of letting circumstances dictate your behavior. Here's an important point. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like building physical strength, building discipline requires starting small and being consistent. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one area and commit to it. Once that habit is established, build on it with another. Over time, these small wins add up and create unstoppable momentum. Accountability can also help you stay disciplined. Share your goals with someone you trust and ask them to hold you accountable. Knowing that someone else is watching can give you that extra push to stay on track. Better yet, find a mentor or join a group of like-minded individuals who are also pursuing success. There's power in community, and being around disciplined people will inspire you to level up. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. There will be days when you fall short, but don't let that discourage you. Get back on track as quickly as possible and keep moving forward. Consistency, not perfection, is what leads to success. Next, the third method is cultivating a mindset of continuous growth and learning. If you want to develop a millionaire mindset, you must become a lifelong student. You see, the world is constantly changing, and the most successful people are those who adapt, evolve, and keep learning. They understand that what got them to one level of success won't necessarily get them to the next. Growth isn't optional, it's essential. Ask yourself, when was the last time you invested in your mind? I'm not talking about formal education. I'm talking about the kind of learning that stretches your thinking, challenges your assumptions, and equips you to solve problems and seize opportunities. Millionaires don't stop learning when they leave school. In fact, that's when their real education begins. They read books, attend seminars, seek out mentors, and learn from their experiences. They treat their mind like a garden, constantly planting seeds of knowledge and weeding out anything that doesn't serve them. Reading is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can cultivate. Successful people read for growth. They devour books on personal development, business, finance, and other topics that help them improve. Why? Because books give you access to the best thinking of the brightest minds, often for the price of a few dollars. Imagine being able to learn directly from someone who has achieved what you aspire to achieve. That's the power of reading. But reading alone isn't enough. You must also apply what you learn. Knowledge without application is like a car without fuel. It won't take you anywhere. When you read something valuable, ask yourself, how can I use this in my life? How can this idea help me grow, solve a problem, or achieve a goal? Then take action. Even a small step can create momentum and lead to significant results over time. Mentorship is another cornerstone of continuous growth. Find someone who has already achieved what you're striving for and learn from them. A mentor can provide guidance, share their experiences, and help you avoid costly mistakes. They can see things from a perspective you might not have considered, and their insights can save you years of trial and error. If you can't find a mentor in person, remember that books, recordings, and seminars are forms of mentorship too. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. Follow them. Here's another thing about growth. You have to treat your challenges and failures as opportunities to learn. Too many people avoid discomfort, but the truth is, growth happens outside your comfort zone. When you take on challenges, you stretch your abilities and develop new skills. And when you fail, which you will at times, you gain valuable lessons that you can use to improve. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every successful person has failed, but what sets them apart is their willingness to learn from those failures and keep moving forward. Developing a growth mindset also means being open to feedback. Feedback is a gift, even when it's hard to hear. It shows you where you're strong and where you need to improve. Instead of taking criticism personally, use it as a tool for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to get better? The most successful people are constantly seeking ways to improve, and feedback is one of the fastest ways to do that. And most of you already know this one. Make sure you have a good circle. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people is another key. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mindset. If you're around people who are content with mediocrity, it's easy to fall into that same pattern. But if you're around people who are ambitious, curious, and constantly striving to improve, their energy will inspire you to do the same. And take time to reflect. Take time to evaluate your progress, celebrate your wins, and identify areas for improvement. Reflection allows you to learn from your experiences and make adjustments as needed. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What's one thing I'll do differently tomorrow? And here's the key. You must be adaptable. The world is full of change, and those who resist it get left behind. A millionaire mindset embraces change as an opportunity rather than a threat. When new technologies, trends, or challenges emerge, ask yourself, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I position myself to succeed in this new environment? Adaptability is a skill that keeps you relevant and competitive in a rapidly changing world. And guess what? Continuous growth requires humility. It's about recognizing that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. It's about being willing to ask questions, admit what you don't know, and seek help when you need it. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you stop growing. Keep an open mind, stay curious, and always be willing to learn from others. This method requires commitment and action. It's not enough to know the importance of growth. You must make it a daily priority. Read, learn, reflect. You got to seek feedback and take on challenges. Over time, these habits will shape your thinking, expand your potential, and position you for extraordinary success. Developing a millionaire mindset is not about luck, talent, or circumstances. It's about intention, discipline, and consistent effort. Each of the methods we've explored, reprogramming your beliefs about money and success, mastering the art of discipline, and cultivating a mindset of continuous growth, forms a critical part of the foundation for success. When you apply them together, they create a powerful synergy that can transform your life. Here's the beautiful part. These methods are available to anyone. You don't need a head start, special resources, or unique opportunities to begin. What you need is the decision to commit. A millionaire mindset doesn't happen by accident. It's something you develop step by step, day by day. The question is, are you willing to put in the work? Think about the possibilities. What could your life look like a year from now if you committed to reprogramming your beliefs, building unshakable discipline, and dedicating yourself to growth? Imagine what you could achieve in 5 years, 10 years, or a lifetime. The results might astonish you. But it all begins with a choice. The choice to think differently, act differently, and become the kind of person who attracts success. Remember, success is not about reaching a destination. It's about becoming. It's about the person you grow into along the way. Every small step you take, every discipline you master, every belief you transform, it's all shaping you into someone capable of achieving greatness. And that's what a millionaire mindset is ultimately about. It's not just about money or material wealth. It's about living a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. So as you move forward, keep these principles close. Revisit them often. Reflect on your progress, celebrate your wins, and learn from your challenges. Stay focused on your vision, and don't let temporary setbacks deter you from your ultimate goal. You have everything you need within you to succeed. Now it's time to take action and make it happen. The question I leave you with is this: what will you do today to take the first step? Doubt can linger as a quiet voice in your mind, questioning whether you're ready, worthy, or capable of stepping into the situations that call for your full potential. It can steal attention at critical moments, making you second-guess decisions that once felt logical or even exciting. Yet that same lingering doubt can be the spark that pushes you to prepare more thoroughly, to explore new ideas, and to strengthen your resolve. Instead of viewing it as an enemy to be conquered, you can treat self-doubt as a reminder to focus on growth rather than perfection. Each time you face that inner hesitation head-on, you sharpen the skills and resilience that form the bedrock of unbreakable confidence. Rather than waiting for doubts to vanish, you learn to move forward with them, reframing uncertainty as an indication that you're stretching beyond the comfortable and into territories where genuine progress happens. In this way, self-doubt evolves from a crippling question mark to a catalyst for transformation, fueling an ever-deepening sense of personal power that comes not from the absence of fear, but from acting courageously alongside it. Recognition is the first crucial step in turning doubt into power. Many assume that only those who appear confident on the outside live without apprehension. But in reality, almost everyone experiences pockets of insecurity. The difference is that some people interpret uncertainty as a push towards self-improvement, while others read it as a verdict on their potential. By treating doubt as a signal, perhaps to research more, to practice a bit longer, or to connect with someone who has faced a similar hurdle, you begin channeling those nagging questions into constructive actions. In doing so, you find that your sense of control expands because you see yourself influencing outcomes through deliberate effort, rather than surrendering to the idea that you're just not enough. Self-awareness plays a pivotal role here. Doubts can arise from deeply rooted narratives like past experiences of failure or unhelpful comparisons to others who seem to excel effortlessly. When you start to ask, where does this specific doubt come from? You might uncover a pattern. Maybe you hesitate about giving presentations because of a single negative comment you received years ago, or you doubt your creative ideas because someone once dismissed them. Mapping these origins can reveal that what feels like a universal truth, I can't handle this, is actually a specific reaction to an event, person, or assumption that you've carried around. Realizing this grants you freedom to question whether that old story still holds weight, or whether it can be rewritten to accommodate your growing capabilities. Thought patterns that spiral into self-doubt often hinge on imagining the worst outcome or focusing on personal shortcomings. By deliberately reframing negative thoughts, you introduce a different narrative. I might not know how to do this yet, but I can learn. Or I may be nervous, but that doesn't mean I'm incapable. This shift isn't about ignoring real obstacles. It's about refusing to define your entire future by the possibility of failing. You're creating mental room for growth, acknowledging that mastery is a process and that your worth isn't tied to one outcome. Each time you practice this reframing, you loosen the grip of doubt. Even if that doubt doesn't vanish completely, it begins to share space with a more empowering viewpoint. Small experiments can bolster this shift in perspective. If you often feel inadequate in group discussions, set a modest target like speaking up once with a clear, concise point. Whether it goes smoothly or not, you demonstrate to yourself that you can act even under uncertainty. These small, repeatable wins accumulate, each one chipping away at the narrative that doubt is an unbeatable force. Over time, you see patterns of your own resilience emerging. You start to trust that even if you're not fully prepared, you can adapt in the moment, reorient, and try again. This trust in your adaptability is a cornerstone of real confidence because it doesn't rely on being perfect. It relies on your ability to cope with the imperfect. Embodying confidence at a physical level can shape your mental state. Simple acts like standing tall, breathing steadily, and making deliberate eye contact signal to your brain that you're in a position of capability rather than threat. While such gestures may initially feel like superficial tricks, they anchor you in moments when the pull of doubt is strong. This practice teaches you that you have tools at your disposal to navigate discomfort rather than letting uncertainty set the stage. As a result, you build a feedback loop where your posture and demeanor reinforce a steadier mental frame, which in turn supports more composed actions. Self-doubt is often fueled by an overly narrow definition of success. If you believe that only flawless performances count, you place an enormous burden on yourself. Broadening that definition, allowing for partial successes, incremental improvements, and lessons drawn from missteps alleviates the pressure that feeds doubt. You can say, I didn't accomplish everything I aimed for, but I improved in these key areas. This reframing puts emphasis on learning and momentum rather than final verdicts on your worth or ability. The result is more room to maneuver, to experiment, and to adjust without labeling those adjustments as failures. A strong network can further dismantle self-limiting beliefs. When you align with mentors, peers, or friends who see your potential, they hold up a mirror that reveals strengths you might overlook in yourself. Their feedback, given constructively, can help you realize that many of your doubts are distortions rather than reflections of fact. At the same time, hearing about their own struggles can normalize your internal battles, reminding you that uncertainty is universal, not a personal flaw. You then become part of a mutual support system, elevating each other's confidence with practical advice, cheerleading, and the candid exchange of experiences. An honest appraisal of your skills matters. Sometimes doubt arises from a real gap in knowledge or capability that needs attention. In that scenario, ignoring the gap won't help. You build confidence by actively addressing it. If you're anxious about managing a project, perhaps it's time to read more about effective methods or to shadow someone with expertise you admire. Doing so transforms the doubt from an emotional drain into a practical problem you can solve. Each improvement or new insight is evidence that you're closing the gap, fortifying the sense that your abilities aren't static but malleable. You learn to trust yourself, not because you assume you know everything, but because you're willing and able to learn what's needed. Reflection can be formal or informal. Formal reflections might involve journaling at the end of each day, noting times your self-doubt flared up, how you handled it, and what you learned. Informal reflections might be as simple as pausing briefly after a meeting to ask, what went well, and where did doubt creep in? Over time, you notice patterns. Maybe you tend to doubt yourself more when you're tired or when facing tasks that involve numbers or unfamiliar audiences. Equipped with that knowledge, you can plan accordingly. Another angle is to measure yourself primarily against your own progress, instead of comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Comparison is one of the quickest ways to amplify doubt, especially if you only see the polished exterior of someone else's journey. By focusing on your incremental improvements, how you're performing relative to yesterday or last month, you keep the spotlight on growth rather than on an unrealistic standard. This approach recognizes that each person's path is different, shaped by unique starting points, setbacks, and opportunities. It honors the fact that mastery takes time, so you're not discrediting your efforts simply because you haven't reached a particular milestone yet. That shift gradually allows you to appreciate self-doubt as a kind of early warning system for areas that need extra attention. Instead of labeling doubt as an outright enemy, you begin to see its value in highlighting blind spots or revealing old habits that might no longer serve you. If you consistently feel uncertain when asked to demonstrate a particular skill, that may suggest investing additional time in that skill is worthwhile. In this sense, self-doubt functions like a guidepost, directing your energies toward growth rather than simply chipping away at your confidence. Instead of ignoring it, you can meet it halfway, investigating what it's trying to tell you, then taking a proactive step, like seeking out resources, advice, or deeper practice to address the concern at its root. It's valuable to note that the path to unbreakable confidence doesn't mean you'll never stumble or revert to old thought patterns. Life evolves in cycles. Certain triggers or challenges might resurface unexpectedly, bringing with them a wave of anxiety or hesitation. The difference, over time, is that you acquire a toolkit for responding. Where once you might have withdrawn or convinced yourself you were incapable, now you pause, breathe, reflect on your progress, and figure out a strategy to move forward. That's the essence of turning self-doubt into power. The doubt might still appear, but it no longer dictates the final outcome. Instead, it sparks you to think more creatively, to tap into determination, and to lean on your self-awareness, eventually forging greater self-belief. Sometimes the road to confidence involves moments of legitimate failure, times when you really do attempt something and fall short. The crucial factor is how you interpret that failure. Do you view it as proof of your inherent limits, or do you see it as a lesson in what needs to be adjusted? If you take the latter route, even an embarrassing or disappointing defeat can become a stepping stone. You might discover an overlooked detail, a missing piece of preparation, or a mindset you need to recalibrate. Overcoming the emotional sting and channeling it into refinement is a hallmark of resilient confidence. Every time you bounce back in this way, doubt recedes a bit more, replaced by evidence that you're truly adaptable. Emotional resilience goes hand in hand with harnessing self-doubt. If each pang of uncertainty sends you into a spiral of self-criticism, your energy depletes before you can apply it toward improvement. Learning to self-soothe through calming routines, healthy outlets, or supportive conversations prevents you from becoming overwhelmed. Instead of sinking deeper into the negative loop, you pause, acknowledge your feelings, and find a constructive release. This process can be as simple as taking a moment to write down everything swirling in your head, thereby externalizing the fears so they stop running rampant inside. Once you see your concerns on paper, they often appear more manageable. Balancing self-compassion with accountability is equally important. Self-compassion means you accept that you won't nail every attempt and that it's human to experience lapses in confidence. Accountability ensures you don't use that acceptance as an excuse to stagnate. You hold yourself responsible for growth, promising not to avoid challenges just because you might struggle. This dual approach helps you stay motivated without beating yourself up when you hit bumps in the road. You're neither complacent nor overly harsh. Instead, you give yourself permission to progress at a realistic pace while still aiming higher when you feel ready. Developing a personal mantra can serve as a touchstone for moments when doubts roar the loudest. Something as simple as "I act with courage, no matter the uncertainty," or "I learn and adapt, even when I stumble," can refocus your mind in critical junctures. This is not empty self-encouragement. It's a way of grounding yourself in an attitude that reminds you of your bigger picture. By using consistent wording and repeating it, whenever doubts flare, you create a mental anchor. Over time, this anchor becomes more potent, an instinctive reset button that steers you away from panic and toward purpose. Cultivating compassion for others can enhance self-confidence, interestingly enough. When you empathize with another person's trials, you're reminded that everyone grapples with fears and uncertainties. This perspective can lessen the sense that you're uniquely burdened or less capable than everyone else, helping you see that struggle is part of the human condition, not a flaw of your own identity. A kinder outlook on others often translates into a kinder outlook on yourself. As you develop understanding and compassion outwardly, you internalize the same leniency and generosity, acknowledging that growth involves setbacks and that vulnerability doesn't negate strength. Seeing fear as an ally is another powerful reframe. The sensation of nervousness, racing heartbeat, restless mind, often accompanies any meaningful endeavor. Instead of viewing these signals as confirmation of impending failure, see them as energy your body provides to help you perform at a high level. The same adrenaline can sharpen focus if you direct it productively. In that sense, the jitters or trembling hands become reminders that you're alive, alert, and about to do something that matters. You can even label that feeling as excitement rather than fear, harnessing it to increase your alertness. Regularly exposing yourself to uncertainty in controlled doses is a systematic way to build resilience. If public speaking is your crux, start by addressing a small group, maybe a handful of friends, and gradually scale up as your comfort zone widens. Each round of exposure deactivates a bit of the panic response, teaching your mind and body that stepping into such situations doesn't spell doom. You adapt incrementally until the setting that once triggered intense self-doubt feels familiar, even if a trace of nerves remains. This principle applies to many areas: negotiation, social events, creative expressions, anything that stirs up the voice of doubt. With each successful exposure, you gather another piece of evidence that you can operate under stress and come out intact, if not stronger. A noteworthy point is that confidence doesn't require constant positivity. It's possible and completely normal to hold doubts while simultaneously believing you can push through. The presence of fear doesn't cancel out the presence of resolve. In fact, true courage involves acknowledging fear, but moving ahead in spite of it. By treating self-doubt as one voice among many, rather than the definitive statement on your future, you free yourself to engage with life from a stance of possibility rather than limiting caution. In this evolving relationship with uncertainty, you accept that you can feel unsure and still act effectively. That acceptance unlocks a different dimension of confidence. It's no longer about never having anxious thoughts, but about trusting your capacity to navigate them. You gradually reduce the friction that comes from wrestling with doubt at every turn, and you channel that mental energy into growth. This dynamic approach fosters a sense of balance, where you're neither paralyzed by perfectionism nor heedlessly plunging forward. You become nimble, realistic, and open, reinforcing your belief in yourself without needing to eradicate every hint of hesitation. Maintaining momentum involves regular check-ins with yourself. It might be once a week where you review what made you doubt your capabilities, how you responded, and what outcome ensued. You look for wins to celebrate and for gaps to address. This habit is less about perfection than about refinement. Each reflection session reaffirms that you're steering the ship of your personal growth, instead of merely drifting with whatever mood or external event emerges. When you do experience a surge in confidence, you note that as well, capturing the factors that contributed, maybe more practice, kind feedback, or tackling a new challenge bravely. These reflections offer a roadmap of what you can replicate in the future. Your sphere of influence grows as your self-doubt transforms. By modeling perseverance despite fears, you inspire others around you to approach their own uncertainties more courageously. In this sense, your internal shift extends outward, shaping group dynamics, team projects, and personal relationships. People see how you handle setbacks, how you remain open to feedback, and how you shift your perspective from potential disaster to potential discovery. This influence can create a ripple effect, fostering a culture where it's acceptable to admit doubts, but not to be ruled by them. Together, you and those around you lift each other, forging an environment that celebrates growth and effort over rigid ideals of flawlessness. Balancing ambition with patience safeguards against burnout. Yes, self-doubt often shrinks as you face tough endeavors, but driving yourself relentlessly without rest can fray nerves and rebuild uncertainty. There's wisdom in pacing, in recognizing that stepping back to recharge doesn't signify weakness, but rather strategic self-care. By scheduling downtime and gentler pursuits, you make space for your mind to recover, your creativity to flourish, and your emotional reserves to replenish. This cyclical pattern, challenge, exertion, rest, allows you to press forward consistently over the long run, building confidence through sustainable growth rather than all or nothing pushes. Empathy for others' journeys remains an essential part of cultivating lasting self-assurance. When you see someone else wrestle with doubt, offering support or guidance not only helps them, but strengthens your own convictions about the power of encouragement. You reinforce the message that everyone is capable of moving beyond their insecurities, and by affirming this outwardly, you reinforce it within. Each conversation or act of kindness thus becomes a two-way exchange of confidence building, reminding you that the same hope you lend to others can be applied to your own struggles. Revisiting your core values anchors your motivation whenever self-doubt flares unexpectedly. You might articulate why a particular goal matters deeply. Maybe it aligns with your passion for learning or your desire to contribute something meaningful. By connecting to these values, you reaffirm that your efforts aren't arbitrary. They carry personal significance. This knowledge can overshadow the fear of what might go wrong, because even if the result is imperfect, the journey still honors your deeper calling. You realize that, in many ways, the pursuit itself holds a kind of victory, one that transcends any single success or failure. Adjusting your self-talk remains an ongoing process. Habits of negative thinking or harsh internal critiques won't vanish overnight, but through consistent effort, you can soften their hold. Each time you catch a diminishing phrase, like, "I'm just not cut out for this," you replace it with a constructive alternative. "I might struggle, but I will adapt." This gentle reprogramming of mental language takes time, but it accumulates. At first, it might feel forced, but eventually your mind grasps that there's no inherent contradiction in feeling doubt while remaining determined. The two states can coexist, and when they do, your determination often wins out, powered by that updated script. In many respects, the key lies in taking consistent, intentional action despite hesitation. Rather than waiting for a magical day when no trace of doubt exists, you operate under the premise that confidence is built precisely by taking these steps in the presence of fear. In other words, your bravery is validated not by the absence of worry, but by your willingness to proceed anyway. That's the transformative equation at work. Self-doubt plus forward movement equals a growing reservoir of faith in yourself. Over the course of multiple experiences, you see yourself solving problems, navigating awkward moments, and surmounting obstacles you once believed insurmountable. Unbreakable confidence doesn't imply a rigid bravado that never bends. It implies a flexible inner strength that rebounds even when bent. You might have days where old insecurities resurface, or moments when feedback stings more than expected. The difference is that these episodes no longer define your trajectory. They become temporary challenges that you meet with the self-knowledge that you've overcome doubt before and can do so again. Bit by bit, The memory of those past victories lights the way for future endeavors, making each new test less paralyzing than the last. Pausing to celebrate milestones is crucial. When you accomplish something that once felt beyond your reach, take a moment to honor that shift. It can be a simple act like jotting down how you felt before starting and how you feel after finishing, or sharing the achievement with a trusted friend. These moments of recognition encourage your mind to internalize the experience. You faced doubt, acted, and succeeded, or at least discovered valuable insights. That memory then stands as a bulwark against future waves of uncertainty, a lighthouse reminding you that you've charted unknown waters successfully before. Each new challenge is tackled with the quiet assurance that you faced challenges before, and by choosing growth, you made it through. Trust in the process replaces the need for immediate proof of brilliance. You realize that mastery or substantial achievement often requires repeated exposure, multiple adjustments, and a fair amount of resilience. Doubt may persist through these stages, but your confidence grows alongside it, fueled by each instance of perseverance. You start to identify more with the process than with any single result. Failure or success becomes data, not a final declaration of your worth. Indeed, this perspective marks a dramatic evolution in how you relate to self-doubt. It's now woven into the journey, but it doesn't steer the ship. Over time, your understanding of risk shifts. Taking bold steps ceases to seem like a gamble on an unknown future and starts to feel like an investment in your continued expansion. Where once the possibility of getting it wrong weighed heavily, now you value the lessons gleaned from the effort more than the fear of stumbling. You measure growth not only in final outcomes, though they matter, but in your ability to keep evolving through the entire cycle of preparation, execution, and reflection. Unbreakable confidence emerges as the natural byproduct of this dedication to learning, because nothing is wasted. Even missteps become fertile ground for future success. In this world of perpetual self-improvement, the lines between fear and excitement blur. You discover that the quickening of your pulse before a challenging endeavor can be interpreted as a sign you're stretching yourself, rather than a warning to retreat. That adrenaline fuels performance when harnessed, becoming part of the thrill of growth. You accept that being fully alive includes feeling these intense emotions, and you welcome them with curiosity rather than dread. Through each cycle of facing uncertainty, acting and learning from the results, you refine a self-image in which courage and doubt coexist peacefully. And that harmony fuels a robust, enduring sense of self-belief. When you finally turn back to see how far you've come, the doubts that once loomed large appear smaller in retrospect. That's not because they were illusions. It's because you've grown big enough to hold them without being overwhelmed. This realization underlines the essence of unbreakable confidence. It's not about living a doubt-free existence, but about outgrowing the constraints that doubt attempts to impose. Each new horizon comes with its own challenges, but so do you come with an expanded set of abilities and a deeper trust in your capacity to adapt. At that juncture, self-doubt transforms into a faint echo, occasionally reminding you to stay sharp, yet no longer wielding the power to halt your progress. Every day you affirm the idea that confidence is a practice, not a fixed state. It needs nourishment just like any other skill through mindful self-talk, deliberate action, reflection, and the choice to keep aiming higher despite discomfort. As you honor that practice, you accumulate resilience, creativity, and unwavering resolve. Self-doubt becomes the fuel that ignites the flame of transformation, guiding you toward achievements and personal breakthroughs that seemed distant before. Ultimately, you embody a confidence anchored not in fleeting bravado, but in the profound knowledge that you are infinitely capable of growth, adaptation, and triumph. With doubt reframed as an ally, you stand on firmer ground, even when the terrain is uncertain. You've shed the notion that every question in your mind signals an inability. Instead, it signals a new frontier to explore. That frontier is both humbling and exhilarating. Humbling because it reminds you there's always more to learn, and exhilarating because each new lesson brings you closer to your fullest potential. In that light, self-doubt transforms from an inner saboteur to a traveling companion who points out where the road could be hazardous, giving you the chance to navigate carefully and emerge stronger than before. Momentum builds as you see how these mental shifts manifest in tangible outcomes, whether it's better performance at work, more ease in social settings, or a deeper sense of self-worth in your personal life. Confidence, once a distant goal, settles in as an ongoing experience, something you cultivate daily, not just a sudden revelation that eradicates all fear. You learn to accept the ebb and flow of emotion, harnessing the highs to fuel bold endeavors and softening the lows with patience and compassion. As you align consistent small actions with your deeper values, that stable sense of self grows, overshadowing the old reflexive doubts that used to govern your behavior. Before you know it, others may start calling you confident, perhaps even seeking your advice on overcoming their own uncertainties. Yet what they call confidence, you recognize as the fruit of many decisions, a refusal to let fear define you, a commitment to keep learning, and the bravery to pursue meaningful aims despite lingering hesitations. This stance isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to show up fully, fear or not, and trusting that each encounter with doubt shapes you into someone stronger, more resourceful, and more ready for whatever life presents. Over time, the synergy of these repeated acts weaves a narrative of personal power, one you continue to write with every step forward. You see confidence not as a lucky trait some are born with, but as a cultivated skill that emerges from action and reflection. Every human being has the capacity to develop it, provided they make peace with the fact that doubt plays a role in pushing boundaries. In fact, without doubt, many of the world's greatest feats might never happen, because it is that spark of uncertainty that prompts deeper investigation, more dedicated practice, and an occasional leap of faith. The real magic happens when you embrace the leap, harnessing doubt's energy to soar higher instead of letting it keep you grounded. And so self-doubt becomes a potent force for growth, illuminating aspects of your journey that deserve attention. In shining this light, it offers you a choice: remain in hesitation or proceed with faith in your ability to adapt. Repeatedly choosing the latter path ingrains a robust confidence, because you see that your strength outlasts your fear. This isn't to say the transformation is easy or instantaneous. Old habits may cling stubbornly and occasional setbacks might sting. Yet each hurdle transcended writes a new chapter in your personal story, a chapter where you don't dismiss fear but collaborate with it, converting what might have been a stumbling block into a stepping stone. In that sense, unbreakable confidence isn't a final destination. It's an ever-evolving process of relating differently to the uncertainties we all encounter. You might adapt methods, seek fresh mentors, or uncover deeper motivations as you progress. The details of your journey can shift significantly over time, but the underlying principle remains the same. Keep moving, keep learning, and keep welcoming the insights your doubts reveal, without letting them define or confine you. At each stage, you discover new facets of your capability, forging a trust in yourself that no fleeting setback can truly dismantle. Ultimately, you stand as evidence that doubt can be channeled into determination. Each time you face a fresh challenge, you bring forward the lessons gleaned from previous wins and the wisdom distilled from missteps. That accumulation forms the bedrock of self-assurance, a living tapestry woven from all you've dared to attempt, all you've endured, and all you've conquered, both externally and within your own mind. You no longer wait for doubt to fade away. You walk alongside it, reshaping each moment of hesitation into an act of courage, and in doing so, reveal a confidence that is honest, resilient, and boundless. It takes ongoing commitment to preserve this mindset. There may come phases of life when stress spikes or circumstances shift unexpectedly, and you feel old worries resurface. Yet the crucial distinction now is that you have a reservoir of experiences proving your ability to adapt and persevere. That history doesn't vanish in adversity. It becomes a shield of perspective, a reminder of how far you've come. In those moments, you call upon your proven techniques, self-reflection, gradual exposure, supportive networks, and remember that you've already navigated rough waters. Doubt becomes a familiar companion rather than an all-powerful foe, one whose whispered cautions you can weigh but not obey blindly.